Seconds ticking down on the clock to the first hand post the dinner break.
Okay, so the clock has ticked over. It looks like we've got CPay as our dealer.
10,000, 20,000.
Looks like they're doing some sort of interview at the table while we're playing. That's interesting. That's the first on me.
So Nick will be under the gun. Blinds are up 10-20 with a big blind ante of 20.
20,000 to play. It's by you.
So folds around to Harold, who's out of his chair. Rudy's put his jacket on. It is getting cold in that venue.
Yeah, it's up to Levine already. On the button.
45,000. 45,000.
And he raises it up to 45,000 with pocket aces
Very nice too.
and quick folds.
Nice little start to the evening.
Yeah, and he just gets the blinds. Nice welcome back to the final table for him.
Indeed it is.
Look down and see 2 pointy ones.
Because he's special. 20,000. 40.
So we will find out how many sessions we're playing this evening. As yet, we've not had formal advice on that. I'm pretty sure it'll depend on how the table goes. I will look at the schedule for you momentarily. So far we've only had one casualty, Max Deverson, I believe.
Yeah, and he did call the jam on the river and he had the bottom straight. There were 2 straights beating him. But the way the hand played out, he didn't put Faisal on the 10. So Geo Ace Queen. With 1.2 million chips, going to raise it up.
48.
Makes it 48,000. Rudy looks interested. Rudy's going to call with pocket 7s from the button. And the action is on Kinesh, who's contemplating here as well. Ganesh is called. And that price is Nick in with his King 7 suited. So we're going 4-way to the flop. There's a king for Nicky. Ganesh's hand is hidden. And he bets his king.
50,000.
So Gio's getting ready to fold these, yeah. No diamonds or nothing. Pocket 7s.
Looks like Rudy's called. He's a non-believer again.
one blue chip is a call.
There's only one out available for Rudy. Unless he gets running diamonds here, but now Kinesh has also come. He may have a bigger diamond, we're not sure.
Check a bit.
So based on the information available, Nick gets the check mark, but as we say, we don't know what Kinesh has got, so
50,000.
Rudy's still not believing.
Kinesh is in a small blind here, so you could give him a 6 or a 5 here,
Yeah, he could have a
or both.
multitude of hands there out of the small blind defending. He could have defended with suited connectors. He could have a bigger king. A lot of options available what he could have.
When he flat calls like that, it scares me.
All right.
So there's the full house for Nick.
Kinesh did have the 6. Nick is in much better shape now.
All in.
So all in there by Nick.
Players in the Etiquette 3, you can start taking your seats again. Players in the Etiquette 3, you may start taking your seats again.
Rudolph has folded. The action is on Kinesh now.
Fairly polarized. He's either got it or he hasn't.
Yeah. Kinesh folds, taps the table. There's the guns in there. Nicky.
When you're going to learn the best player, never mind in the world, to ever be born. You've never been born.
They say self-praise is no recommendation, huh?
Oh, yeah. So it's a fairly big hand there for Nick. There was a lot of action pre-flop, and then he bet 50 on the flop, got 2 callers. Bet 50 on the turn, got 2 callers. So a healthy pot there for Nick.
Spotlight. 10,000.
Jason with Mr. Negrano's favourite hand. They've gone into the muck. 7-6 suited here for Gio.
Small blind. 10,000.
Suspect he'll play them from early position.
50,000. 50,000.
Quick fold from Faisal. Levine dressed up for the cold weather. Gets out of the way. Rudy with Jack-6 also gets out of the way.
50,000.
Gio gets that one through. Well done. Okay, 161 on the hand count. Gio's under the gun. That 10-7 keeps appearing on that corner, right?
Yeah, we're quite popular around that neck of the woods.
So Faisal with the ace-6 here. He folds.
Round to Levine. He's going in for a raise.
45.
Students in place in the 7A, you are
45,000.
6,000, 12,000, 12,090. Good in you, 6,000, 12,000.
What else scared of it.
So it's folded round to Nicky with the Jack 7 suited here. The
45,000.
raise was 45k.
With his newfound wealth of over 1 million, he calls. So we go two-way to the flop. So he flops an up and down with that 7. Levine's hand still hidden. Action is on him first. Nicky's on the button. You got to give him some sort of pair here, because he doesn't just continue normally with ace, queen, ace, king in this situation. He's bet 56,000. Nicky with the up and down is coming with. Nick King is no help to Nick. Action is with Levine. Now making it expensive for Nick to continue.
He's only got the up and down, as far as we know. So a lot of cheese to be calling.
334,000 in the pot. It's getting 4-1.
82,000.
Solid fold. I think that was a good fold. We didn't see Levine's cards, but he's not been. Well, we've certainly got not much evidence of him bluffing this today. So
Yeah, hasn't stepped out of line, as we say.
So Rudy down in the 15 big blinds. So that's so Edgar there, and Theo in the back of JP's head, and of course Vegandas also there.
There's Brett Holland, Gareth, Grant, Cole, Chandra, John Abrosi. Still fighting it out there.
Faisal with a king 10 here on the feature table.
Risk it as a king.
Under the gun.
If I go all in, I think you fold.
He's folded it. He's played very solid. Not got involved anywhere from early position or anything like that.
But you gotta know when to fold. Know when to fold.
Jack 9 for Kinesh and the hijack.
He's going to look to raise that.
52,000.
Nick is out the way. Harold folds. Jason and Geo fold. And Kinesh will get that through.
Nicely done, good reputation.
Yeah, he just picks a hand or so every rotation, finds it from the right position, makes the raise. Because of his solid reputation, he gets it through. Done it a lot with Jack 9, Queen 9, hands like that. So Levine under the gun, 5 deuce off. Quick folds round to Nick. He's out the way, as is Harold. Jason raising the button, 10-8.
31.
Sevens. Again, they are very popular today. Faisal sitting on 1.4 million here.
There's a 3-bet coming.
That's a nice bet.
131,000.
Jason has to fold. Yep. Clicks the button round to Gio.
Yeah, he didn't want to tangle with the biggest stack on the table.
Nope. Especially 4 away from the money.
Probably one of the shortest legs in your class most of the time, so you're used to it. You can deal with it, right? You've got to give back something to them. No one else can do this. Like, fuck, man, I'm gonna watch it. You know, so Mark's tipped me $50. Fucking girls watching cricket, as I said, I'm going in 3 hours. The way the property market is, $50 can go a long way.
20,000.
Quick folds all the way around to Nick. He's out the way. Harold in the hijack.
I fancy a piece, no?
Jason in the cutoff says, well, he'll take a chance. A6.
50,000.
That's already.
50k. What has the button got, Mr. Zanetti? King 10. He's certainly not going anywhere.
Jason just raised the previous hand and got 3-bet. And we've seen Gio in spots like this. He doesn't flat, he 3-bets.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a raise.
145.
And that's a lot of pressure back onto Jason when it comes round to him, because he is short.
Yeah, with a weak ace.
And I would expect Jason to fold this. Yep.
Yeah. So it's 2 hands in a row that he's opened and been 3-bet and had to fold.
And notwithstanding, nice play there from Gio with obviously not a premium hand, but certainly a nice hand, King 10 suited. So put his chips to work there. Well done, young man.
Yeah, both him and Faisal using their big stacks to put pressure on Jason. I know he opens with a fairly wide range from the button and from the cutoff, so they put the pressure back on him. So it's good play all round.
To play.
Hold it round to Harold, Queen 8 suited. Too early for him for that. Jason gets out the way quickly. Gio folds, Faisal folds, so it's going blind on blind. Levine, King 7 off. Makes the call. Rudy checks behind. The Jack deuce.
And there's a nice little king for Levine.
Yeah. Checks it. Rudy checks back.
No help for the Jack too. Rudy's looking tired, huh? Been a long few days, I'm sure.
Bet and quick fold. And Rudy's right down there near the danger zone now. He came to the table with just under $1 million. He's on 275 now. Not much has worked for him on this final table. He's been a non-believer with a pair against overcard on the flop a few times, and it's cost him quite a few chips.
So Nick in seat 4. So the top centre left of your picture will be our next under the gun player, first to act. Blinds to his right, of course, with Kinesh and Rudolph.
I think we should be calm. If it goes up 8, $500.
8-2. We don't think we're going to do much with that.
Yeah, not from under the gun. On to Harold. Harold's a quick folder, as is Jason. On to Gio. He's out the way. Faisal picking up raising chips.
45,000.
Makes it 45,000.
7-2 for Gio. Ace Jack from Levine. Might see some action here.
Taking his interest on it.
He's chosen the flatting route most times when he's been on the button or in position against an early raiser. And he does so again. Just flat calls.
Rudy's out the way.
Kinesh gets out the way with a Doyle.
So some nice diamonds out there. Only Levine holding diamonds. Obviously top pair here for Faisal. See what his pricing is in terms of protecting his hand. 65,000 is the price of admission. He's going to give this up. He is indeed. Faisal quietly going about his business as usual. Chipping up nicely. Harold with 622,000 behind. Rubbing his head there. I think all players have been a bit fatigued today. Been a long day. Harold will be our under the gun player.
Yeah, Faisal, the freshest of all these players, he only joined in this morning in the late reg period, so he's moved that 300,000 starting stack that he started way behind the others to chip leader.
Maybe there's something to be said for coming in late.
Played very well.
20.
Applied a lot of pressure when he has played hands.
50.
Here we go, Jason. Time to try and spin it up a bit here. Raised it up to 50.
Rudy folds. Round to Kinesh.
50,000.
I don't think you're going to get much action for your kings, Jason.
No. Jason shows the kings and says, come on guys, give me some action here. He raised twice and got 3 bet, gets kings, raises and gets it through.
All I'll say is be careful what you wish for. What's going on out here? This is the turbo, I think.
Yeah, is that the turbo starting? 3K turbo. So a number of players sitting down into that. That's Rudy's daughter in the top right-hand corner there.
It is indeed. So, Gio, what is your raise size here with your ace-king? Just 50. It's enough, he says.
That's the pot.
He just confirmed that.
50,000.
That's by Giovanni. You know, the Italian is a confused Greek. You know that.
Pocket fives for Ganesh. He's been fairly quiet. Looks like just going to flat this off, go set mining.
Nicky folds. Harold's out the way.
Up and down for Gio, for Ganesh.
Yeah, he flopped up and down there with the pocket fives. Gio's going to continue.
40,000.
Downside bet, which has become the norm for a lot of players on the flop. Which I think will keep Ganesh interested.
Well, if Ganesh puts him on a ace-king hand like he's got, he also knows he could be ahead. And there you go, binks are straight.
But he's got the bottom end. There are only 5 outs for Gio to split. We're going to continue.
75,000.
What is Ganesh scared of? The old ace-tens?
I'm scared of any of the 10 combinations. Ace 10, King 10, Jack 10 suited, any one of those that Gio may have raised with.
Or pocket tens? Yep,
And that one, of course, as well.
he's asking a question. And that takes a fold.
Yeah, he raises and then gets a snap fold out of Gio. So nicely played by Ganesh there.
Yeah, and he picked up 215,000 there. No small feat.
Yeah, it's a big pot at this stage. Blinds of 10, 20, that's 10 bigs.
Nothing you're going to get from me is going to kill you. Otherwise, I'd be dead already.
Rudolph with 13 big blinds.
I saw myself on the screen. I couldn't believe it.
So a lot of players having jumped into that 3K turbo. They see Warwick there as well.
Well, that'll be a bit of fun. I'm sure he's enjoying himself. There's Cole still battling with John Abrosi.
The 7K freeze.
Standard now, 50. That's standard now.
55,000.
Faisal with ace jack raises it.
I don't think Gio raised 9-4 at 55,000.
No, it was Faisal that raised. Levine folded, Rudolph folded, Ganesh was folded.
Easy game.
Easy game, they tell him. Nick says, you raise, everybody folds.
Easy game. Either straight, that's what I told you.
A very cagey affair. Going to take a bit of a cooler here to sort these guys out. or it'll take for the blinds to catch up. I suspect the cooler will come quicker than the catching up of the blinds.
Yeah, such a lovely structure in this tournament, so deep. Lots and lots of play available to the players. I mean, we've only lost one player off this final table since 6 o'clock, and we passed 9 o'clock now if the 3K Turbo started.
Well, I think the tournament director tells us we're going to see this through to the end tonight. I've got news for you, China. We'll be here all night. That's not going to happen. So I'm definitely taking the over on that.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Gaz. They're too deep.
Not in a million years, unless something radical happens. But we shall see. We shall see.
Pocket fives that served Kinesh so well in the recent hand against Gio. He's the raiser this time. Nikia's out the way. Jason quickly out, around to Gio. And the big blind. Jack 8 suited.
Kinesh likes those fives, eh?
Yeah. Gio's going to defend his big blind.
And the Jack has taken the lead over the pocket fives. 2 diamonds on board.
Gio is checked. Ganesh will continue.
I think Gio's looking for that 100-odd grand that he lost on the other hand.
It's flat by Gio.
So 2 pair for both players.
Gio checks again. Ganesh checks behind.
And that should slow everything down.
It's a good card for Ganesh to have a go at, but he doesn't. He checks. And Gio turns over the winning hand. Gets some of his chips back.
130-odd thousand, I think. All good stuff. As we go on the hand, 171, 10, 20, 20 on the big blind ante.
That in the background, I think, was the prize pool for that 7K.
It has been published, I haven't seen it. We're sweeping across there.
So Levine under the gun. Folds, Rudy's out the way.
Ace 3 for Rudy, interesting. It's the sort of hand he would normally be speculating with.
Yeah, but with his short stack, he didn't want to get involved. And just as well, look behind him. Around to the 2 blinds now. Gio folds out of the small blind.
61.
Around to Faisal, ace 8. Shows the ace. Folds. I think Doc showed him the jacks because there's the jacks, and gets the tap of the table from Faisal.
Mark, I thought I told you to put my name on that check. Where's Mark? To save time. Doesn't listen. All right, put in my name. Save time.
Nicky holding court again.
Don't
He's
poke
like the
my
Energizer Bunny.
with a K. And if you don't know that, you need to check yourself.
Rudolph under the gun, left the picture.
Never been short of confidence as Nick Katsopis.
I'll get that, Will.
Looks like Rudy's bet 50.
Have to get 50,000 rating.
Round to Nick. Nick's going to look him up here, I'm sure.
He does so.
But I'm saying, but you can't do 20, right? No one's raised 20,000 once. Everyone's been 45, 20. Yeah, but you can raise now 20. You have to raise 50.
I don't think Basil's going to put up much of a fight here.
Round to Levine.
Queen 8 suited in the big blind, might choose to come along, given he's got soldiers in the field. What's his stack size? 640,000. I think I might call there.
Yeah, he's got to call 13 to 150, 5 to 1. He makes the call. Rudy's cards are hidden.
Ace, King 4, so Nick hits the ace.
Rudy bangs it all in.
Decision time for Nick here.
Nick has 900,000 chips with 200 to call. He's hit top pair.
I hope you got ace 9. Ace 9. That's why I'm the best! That's why!
He said ace 9, and it's exactly what Rudy had.
A club on the turn for a sweater.
Yeah, that would be a big sweat.
There's a 9.
Oh, there's the 9. Oh, my word.
There could be a 10.
Oh! It was a sick old game, this. Joy on the flop, despair on the turn, joy on the river for Nick. And the joy for Rudy on the turn, short-lived.
There's a disgusting old game sometimes.
Yeah, it's a sick old game. The highs and the lows, the swings, the roller coaster, it's all there.
So the VPIP there was Jason Strauss was at the top. That does surprise me.
He has been very active. On this-
Obviously.
Yeah.
It just surprised me. I wouldn't have put him as the top of that chart for sure.
If you think Faisal hasn't played that many hands, Levine didn't, Rudy didn't, Kanesh didn't. So the only other active player is Nick. So I don't know what his VPI was there. I was looking away at the time that flashed across the screen.
So for our viewers at home, the VPIP is the voluntary put in pot. In other words, you didn't need to put it in, you put it in yourself. And Jason's sitting at about 30% at the top. So 30% of the hands he plays.
Well done,
And a big thank you to Rob Dalton for
Obviously,
arranging
Todd
for
had been
a
happy.
lovely visit to the top of the tower at the Palace. So you can propose. Lucky she said yes.
So the raise to 70 with the ace queen by Nick.
No, I want no, this I want action on this one. I want pot builder, because now I'm at $1 million. So when you got 50 builds, you can't buy one. You need to buy 5 builds to make a difference.
Around to Levine in the small blind. He folds. So Doc will be in the big blind. Let's see what he's got.
Marcy, nicely.
Levine has folded. Ace 5 for Doc in the big. He gives it up. He says pick one. Chooses the queen. Shows the ace. Ace queen. So there it is. 80 bigs for Faisal. Nick second now after that big hand.
Big blind.
Harold under the gun.
20,000.
Folds the ace-8. Jason, who is the most active player, as Gary pointed out, raises with 5s. Geo folds, Faisal folds. Round to Levine.
50.
Action on Levine. King, Queen suited on the button. He has chosen to flat these kinds of hands in this situation. And makes the call. Ganesh with ace-jack suited. Asks how much Jason has behind. Jason with the pocket 5s. And Ganesh decides to just flat. Nick with a queen 7 in the big blind. So we're going to go 3-way to the flop. Remember, Jason does have pocket 5s.
Check of it.
So that's a huge flop for Levine. Flop top pair, and it's got the second nut flush draw. Gut shot for Ganesh. So it's checked round to Levine. Looking down at his chips, trying to decide the sizing here. It's a big flop for him, that. Looks around 80 odd. Yeah, 89,000. So gut shot for Ganesh.
89,000.
Ganesh folds. And the pocket 5s of Jason will hit the muck as well. And a nice hand for Levine. Flopped huge, top pair and the second nut flush draw. The king, queen of diamonds.
So they're down to 12 players in the 7K, 10 get paid, so we're nearly on the bubble. And Rudy is now holding court in the 3K.
There he is already, sitting at the top there. Good man, Rudy. Can't resist. He got to jump in to play more poker. He just loves the game so much. From the super high roller straight into the 3K turbo. Didn't even miss a beat.
Such a degen.
Total degen. You told me a story at Boardwalk where he was playing 2 tournaments at the same time live. Multi-tabling live.
Yeah, crossing the corridor. Crazy. Okay, Gio with the pocket 3s here, off crab hunting. So
50,000.
sounds like a 50k raise, yeah. Ace king for Faisal, just a flat call. Levine out the way. So it looks like it's folded around a Nick. Can't see his cards at the moment.
50, 31.
It's come worth.
Check of it.
Nick checks, Harold checks, Geo checks. There are all the hands revealed now. Gut shot for Harold,
Bulldogs waiting like snakes in the grass, eh?
Check of it.
and Harold finds it,
He has the straight, as they say.
and the check mark. Nick now bets his 8.
5,000.
What's the price, Mr. Brooks? What is the price?
120 odd.
162,000.
No, even heavier, 162. I think that gets rid of everybody. Even Nick with his 8.
All in?
No.
Nick has moved all in. The only hand Harold's scared of here is 9-10. But he's calling.
Cuts.
And Nick is drawing dead here.
So Harold will take this pot down.
Yeah, even the trip 8s don't save Nick on the river. The money didn't go in on the turn, it was definitely going all in on the river.
Nick will have some money left, of course, but Harold will pick up 652,000, which will rocket him. So Harold will be rocketed to the almost the top.
And Nick drops down a little.
I didn't know that you were there.
542.
Dealer sorting out the chips. So nice
And
hand.
there's a little point of etiquette there. You know, if you get beaten in a big pots and you have big chips, slide the big chips across to the other player. Don't send over all your stacks of single 1000s. It's really poor etiquette. Takes a long time to do. You know, have a bit of respect. And Nicky, well done. Big chips across to Harold. No hassle. No counting required. Quick skeg. Done. Finished in clock. So good little point of etiquette for young players up and coming. I've actually put people in all in before now, and they sat there with the big denomination chips, and they end up giving me single individual ones, and it's just ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
Not easy to slow the game down, but it's poor etiquette. So well done to Nick.
And I didn't think you'd tell everybody. It was your secret. It was our secret. She tells everybody, no, I'm small.
That's the good, yeah. It's 1.3 million.
Nice double up there by Harold. Double up plus because of the pre-flop action.
Gio wakes up with ace jack here.
Stock raise of 50k.
So ace jack suited for Levine.
As I said, all day long he's just been flat calling these.
So a little 2% extra with the suited cards.
Does a flat call again.
Ganesh with the other two diamonds there, 10-9.
He fancies a flop. Cut off. Nicky on the button, king 8 off.
No, put the money down. I won't touch it.
Out of the way, Harold's going to fold the
So
small
there's
blind,
a
I'm
straight
sure.
flush out there. It was the 8, the 7, 8, the 9, the 10, and the jack of diamonds all out at the same time. And for good measure, there was the 6 as well. Okie doke, here we go. That's not a bad flop for a 9-10. So up and down, straight draw for Ganesh.
Nothing else for the Ace Jacks. Checked round to Ganesh. He's going to bet that up and down now,
Yeah, it should get through.
and that should get that through quite quick.
Oh, Mark, I'll put you back in the play.
Jason on 13 bigs here. 34 for Levine, Nick on 38, Ganesh on 51. And you know the 50 bigs is quite healthy, so still a long way to go in this tournament.
Fold it all the way around. Another 10-9 suited for Ganesh.
I'm here. 55,000.
He raises it this time. Last time he was a caller and took down the pot on the flop. Quick folds round to Geo in the big. Oh, ace queen suited.
We shall have a little bit of action here.
Also clubs. Here comes the 3-bet.
170.
170. They'll get that through, I'm sure.
Yeah, Ganesh didn't even postulate their quick fold.
That is very good now. Double up once, 400,000 chipped. Not Jason, I said she can go back tomorrow and spend time with his family.
Get it in, Nick. You can double up on the
How much you got to do? Just count again. I know you can't.
So hand number 178. Blind of 10-20. Big blind ante of 20 still. We have just under 10 minutes left on this level.
Made a mistake.
See the timing screen in the back.
257. Shot. You know it raises if I play a shot.
Folded round to Nick. He gets rid of that. Harold folds. Jason on the button. 6 deuce off. He's got 257k. Gets rid of that. King Jack for Geo. He just limps into the big stack to his left. Faisal King 4 checks. There's the top pair for Geo. And I'll go bet fold.
25.
Shows Faisal the Jack.
Small big blind.
No, it's come. Wait until I tell you. Time.
Top 10. Small blind face.
I look at my answer and tell Jason. Time. Nice.
Just a nice point of view.
80,000.
No, I don't think.
Ace 10 suited for Ganesh. Under the gun. We are 7-handed, having lost 2 players.
300, 600, 600 and key.
And we'll raise that.
60,000.
Nick folded. Harold folds. Round to Jason. He's out the way. Gio on the button. He's out the way. Faisal quick folder. So just round to Levine, and he's folded, and Ganesh wouldn't get that through.
So a little bit of poker news for us all. Mr. Greg Penlai, who we know and love, congratulations to him and Ashley on their second child.
Oh, congratulations.
Arrived 40 minutes ago. Luca Grace Penlai, welcome to the world. God is great, another miracle. Awesome
Congratulations
news.
to them both.
Me.
22 player.
Nick under the gun with the Queen 10.
Just go.
Just call, he says.
100.
Wrong color. He said lucky you said call.
Two black ones.
Jason folds. Round to Gio. 6-3. Cutoff. Gone. Faisal folds the button.
20.
Levine. Jack 9. 10k to call. 7-1. Gonna come along and see a flop. Around to the dock in the big blind. Ganesh checks. The ace 8.
Check a bit.
So a little something for everybody there. Ganesh has hit bottom pair. Second pair for Nick. And gut shot for Levine.
60.
Now Levine folds quickly. Ganesh with bottom pair. He's going to see one more.
Check a bit.
7 doesn't change anything. Ganesh checks. Nick's going to continue the story.
110,000.
Ganesh gets rid of it now. Field one.
Small bit.
So Harold will be the under the gun player. There's a view of the 3K turbo on the left hand side. On the right hand side there where Gary's railing Carl. This is the last of the players in the 7K freeze, and as he said, they're approaching the money there, paying 10 places. And there were still 12 players left. Yeah, there's still 6 on that table, but we can see on the, where Carl's sitting. We don't pan to the other table. Harold with ace jack under the gun. Stock raise has been around 55.
Woo, not the same. So the time
54,000.
is coming soon.
There we go, 54,000. Folded around to Faisal. He's out the way. Around to Levine. He folds
Take some of those hands we had.
up to the 2 blinds. Ganesh folds the small blind. Only Nick in the big.
Not even 54 cents.
This is not even for 54 cents. Never mind 54K. And Harold gets that through, and the blinds are up. So blinds up in the super high roller.
Blinds are up, 12.24.
Blinds 12.24 with a big blind ante of 24.
Small blind, 24,000.
The small blind.
Jason under the gun. Stepped away already.
24 to play.
Round to Gio.
24.
Faisal folds. Up to Levine. He'll fold that 10-8 from there. Ganesh folds. Round to Nick. Small blind gives Harold a walk.
You see Harold? No, Zubu comes to you, huh? I want a similar walk. Yeah. You, yeah, you can change.
My granny used to take on one week where you lost.
Jason posts the big blind and the big blind ante.
And I'm short. Yeah, 2,000. Actually, okay.
Jason getting change from Gio there.
This level and one more glass, Tina. Really? This level and one more.
And then 11 a.m.
Sorry? And then 11 a.m. Yeah.
Don't you reckon we should leave earlier, guys, tonight?
Brother, we need to finish the tournament.
Why just if you push
Small blind
I'm not too much about
24,000.
I think I heard Mark announcing in the background there, this level and one more tonight.
Anyone need some power here? I've got some free power available.
Gary's bringing out the news from the outer table. So we will confirm exactly what is being played to. So catch up with the action. It was raised by Gio, called by Faisal, folded by Levine. Ganesh also with a pocket pair, so we've got 3 pocket pairs here. He's also called. Nick on the button with King 10. He has 2 overs to all those pairs. Gets rid of it though. And here's Harold with Ace King. Just flat called.
Something wrong. That's all.
And Jason folds.
255. Harold. 5.
So interesting hand developing here, the 3 pocket pairs. And Harold did 3-bet as I thought he would, to 255,000.
Right, congratulations to guys in the 7K freeze out there. All in the money, let's give them a nice round of applause.
Looks like they're in the money on the 7K.
Yeah,
Right, guys, I'm just going to adjust the top 10 minutes of coming off to the 5-handed trade. Anyway, as soon as you can make the point and 10 minutes will be coming up, you can shuffle up the deal. Well done, once again, to all of you in the money.
6s are folded.
Just a reminder, players in the room, there's a 3,000 rand
55.
Nines from Faisal hit the muck. Back to Ganesh with the eights.
Ace king versus eights.
Yeah, so there were 3 pocket pairs before it got to Harold.
I did see.
He folds the eights, so 6s, 9s and 8s folded. Harold gets that through with ace king. Solid reputation, and when he 3 bets, you got to know that the players will respect it. There are those outer tables. JP Oak still in there. Vigandas. Theo still there. You can see Brett Holland here, Gareth Khalil.
And it's not nice to lie because you're going to see it in 30 minutes time.
Looks like it was gold, to be honest. So they're all in the money on the 7K. The bubble has burst. So congratulations to all the players still in out there. There's some serious wonder up top in that tournament as well. Plenty of cheddar. Anyhow, back to talking about cheddar. This is huge money we're playing for here.
If you feel comfortable, no spectators in the playing area, you're welcome to stay in the corridors.
Ganesh with ace queen suited in the hijack. And he raises it
60,000.
up to 60k. Nick's out the way. Harold 6-3. Quick fold. Jason's folded already. Round to Geo. 6-7 suited in the big blind. He defends his big blind. And Geo flops the best of that. Flop second pair. It's gone check, check on the flop. Check, check on the turn. Geo gets the check mark. 6-7 is good. Ganesh shows the ace queen and flips it in disgust that he missed there. So there are 8 bigs now for Jason. Very much in the danger zone.
Absolutely.
John Abrosi, Chandra D ball in the money. Gareth Khalil, Brett Holland. As well as Theo. The other table that we saw. So Levine under the gun with pocket 5s.
He's like an Eskimo.
He's been hidden all day, guys.
It is a bit chilly under those lights there. Normally it's quite warm, but it is a tad chilly up there. Ganesh with the 9-8 here. Under the gun +1, he's folded those already. Random Nicky with the pocket 10s. We'll see some action here, I'm sure. Did he say 48?
Min click. Round to Geo in the small.
Oh, I think he might defend here.
Yeah, he fancies a flop with that.
And Faisal in the big blind.
Gets rid of that. Very disciplined. He's not even worried that it's such a good price. Doesn't like it at all. Gets rid of it.
So pocket 10s versus the 2 overs. 3 diamonds in play. Not much cooking there. Pocket 10's still miles ahead. Ace might be a little bit of a card that you can bet at.
Now Nick, pre-flop aggressor, is going to continue. He has got the best hand at the moment.
Yes, Gio will get rid of those and we'll move on.
That is exactly the flop I wanted to see.
Marvin?
400, 800, 890, 489.
And that hyper turbo, the blind's going quickly. They did say it. It's already 4,800. The big blind of ante of 800.
It's just a rebuy fest. That's what it is. Mr. Vegandos, self-proclaimed the best player in Lithuania.
Yeah, and Theo here in the front, and JP Oaks all in the money.
Pick up my stack, give you the problem.
Big blind.
JP sporting one of our very exclusive range of jackets from Cardstream. Well, he is our lawyer. It was like we had to give him one, otherwise he wasn't going to play.
Yeah, there are not many of those jackets around, and 4 of them were wandering around in that outer area just now.
4 of the 8 that exist.
Yourself, Carl, Henny, and JP.
That's right. Like I said, there are 2 white ones as well, with embossed writing on them. But there are only 2 of those. Okay, so Harold with the suited ace-jack here.
He raises, and Jason moves quickly all in.
So ace-jack, all in, another ace-jack. I think that's a exit strategy here for Gio. Doesn't need to get involved.
Been raised by Harold, shoved by Jason, and Gio looks down at ace-jack suited.
Well, he decides against it, and he's going to come along. So he's calling his all in, and it'll be back to Faisal, and then back
Oh,
around
look
to
at Levine with queens now behind in the big blind. Raise, all in, flat call.
I'd actually be pretty worried if I had queens myself.
Yeah,
Like,
just based
what have
on
I
the
just
action,
walked
yeah.
into? And Harold's still behind me to play. You know, this might sound absolutely nuts, but I could find a fold here.
And Levine has taken the conservative route a lot of the time.
I could find a fold here. Jason's all in. Gio flat calls him. Alarm bells. He wants somebody else to come along. No isolation bet. Pocket queens. Can I give one of them aces? Can I give them one of kings?
He's just flatting, Gaz, as well.
This is a big pot, eh? 691 already.
And still round to Harold.
There was no correct answer for Levine there, by the way. I say, he could have found a fold. Time will tell. Jason's thinking, I'm in a bit of crap here.
He's in a lot of trouble, but all the aces are gone. Virtually, there's one left. So Levine's hand looking quite strong in paper. But you never know, that elusive one card comes so often.
And let's not forget the fact that Gio and Harold have both got suited cards here. So
Yeah,
they're also looking at flushes and stuff like that.
Flushes, straights. They would need a queen, though, for the straight, so it's more the flushes.
Yeah. What's Harold going to do? Harold is a wise old fox. He knows when to avoid a fight.
He's thinking, I raised, it was an all-in and 2 flat callers.
Jason's doing the pacing.
I think he knows he's in trouble.
Let's try and cut back to Harold if we can. What price a fold? What price a call? What price a raise?
So he
Did
has,
Harold call?
he has called.
Okay, the cameras were a bit quick there. There's the diamonds. No help. Miraculously, no one has got a king.
It's all checked round. Turn comes a 7. Oh, the case ace comes on the river. Oh my word. Ace jack.
So Gio
Ace
and
jack.
Harold will chop it up.
Ace 10, queens. Wow.
Everybody loves a chop pot.
Jason's saying to Levine, why didn't you isolate and then I can win with my ace 10 on the river? And we lose Jason. Fought that short stack the whole day, came to the final table as the short stack. Goes out in 7th place.
No matter what you do, it's the same result. It's the same result. Because if you go all in, we both fall. And he still wins.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but if you
Takes
call,
that long walk down the corridor.
I call you.
Pre-flop.
No, pre-flop. I already got my 60s.
He's only putting 60. If he goes all in, it's 700,000.
Not 700,000.
He's put 200 in the pot. He's still got 500 in front of you. You don't call the 700.
And like all good poker players, we have to have a debate afterwards.
But you just call. That worried me.
It worried me as well, Harold.
Yeah, the flat call is what worried everybody. That's why Levine didn't isolate with the queens. Flat call always, from a big stack, not isolating, sends alarm bells ringing. Exactly what you said in live commentary, Gary.
I don't mind shouting. He's other 200,000. I can shout, but I can't shout.
So with 2 from the money, 6 players left, and 4 will get paid.
And Levine can't believe that the case ace came on the river. And I did say so at the time, that that elusive one outer comes. And on the stream, Brent Johnson has just watched Rudolph going out and he says, wow, the ace 9 versus the ace 10, crazy.
It was a tad interesting, that hand.
9 on the turn and then the 10 back on the river. It was a crazy hand.
It's 5 and 60 for money back. No answer, it's up to you.
I don't do unless it's to end the tournament. We can do a deal to
So
end the tournament. No deals unless it's to end the tournament.
24,000.
If you get the money deal back, yeah, gladly agree to that deal because I'm in for 2 bullets.
We only get 2 bullets.
So I'm
We only get 1 bullet. We only get 1 bullet.
I'm gladly do that deal. But I agree with that deal. Whole lot.
55,000.
So Gio raises with a king jack from the cutoff. Round to Levine.
55,000.
He's not happy with him not showing me.
No, what?
It's a better result. We are. Jason's got 800. We still have to deal with it.
Levine with pocket 4s. On the small blind.
Pocket 4s again.
Yeah, I was dead.
55.
Makes the call. Ganesh gets rid of his hand.
When he called, I wasn't too sure that he's all that strong, you know. But you, I was afraid.
10-10 jack. Gio outflops the 4s.
Yes. Because you
Check.
want
Back to
you want
Gio.
put away.
50.
Bets 50,000. Small bet into that. Quickly find out if Levine has the 10. And Gio gets his king jack through.
Small bit.
Gio using that downside bet on the flop very well today.
Yeah, it's been his standard sort of stock modus operandi, MO, and worked well for him, as you say. Shout out for CP, dealer on the table. Not mentioned her today. She's always efficient and very clear with her calls on the table. So nice to see CP.
I didn't even know if an ace was going to be When the ace came on the river, I said, now I can see this movie. You're going to go all in, I'm going to pay you all.
Guys, if you all agree to go home now, just go home and get a nice score.
And the debate goes on.
Driving us mad.
Sleep.
Yeah, so then tomorrow we're going to have to play till 10 o'clock tomorrow night again.
Now look yourself on 12.
Ace King for Mr. Brooks here.
We're playing this level in 1 month.
Let's see what Harold's going to get up to.
Plus a 15-minute break.
No, this is the last one.
64,000. 64.
So raise to 66,000 from Harold. It's around to Kanesh already. Around to Nikki, ace 5.
Choose both. Zapas, choose both.
I think this is the last one. You said 11 o'clock.
Well, I promise you it's this one and one.
I think Nick's tired also, wants to go into the family.
What is it? 10, 12.
12,000.
12,000, 24,000. 24,000 on the big blind ante.
Like Cash going to Durban for 4 days. I promise you play for
5-3 for Gio.
24,000. 55,000.
6-handed, getting close to the money. Gio opening his range a little further.
Don't do that at home. Don't try that at home.
Harold in the big blind here. Might decide to defend his soldiers who are already in the field. And we shall see a flop.
Diamonds versus clubs on the suits.
And there's a couple of diamonds if you're interested. And of course, Harold's whiffed this one. And that'll be the end of that.
Yeah, nothing for Harold to continue with.
Apart from optimism.
Yeah. Non-belief. And finds his 7 now.
Unbelievable, he says. Gio needs to continue the story. What's he put in here? About 125.
Yeah, he always upsizes the turn. He follows the modern day trend of international poker players. Downsize the flop bet, upsize on the turn.
185 to Harold. And 5-3 of diamonds will get through. He'll tell you the diamond was coming on the river anyhow.
Yeah.
Nice play, well done. Okay, hand 190, 190 hands today on the feature table for the Super High Roller. And we've come a long way. We're down to our last 6 players. Only 4 will get paid.
Yeah, we've seen some great action, some wonderful play.
Faisal picks up the 10-9 suited here.
The usual bad beats.
60,000.
You did that in.
Harold got rid of his small blind, the rag ace. Gio folds as well.
And Faisal will get that one through.
All the chips are this side of the table. We're going to just balance the chips.
501,000, and this is your last level of re-entry. 501,000, last level of re-entry in the turbo.
Big blind type.
Under the gun, Levine. 9 deuce folds. Round to Kanesh.
Looks like he's interested. We can't see his cards, but it looks like he's going to play. Jack 8 suited here for Harold. Queen 6 suited. Jack 8's gone. Hearts again here. Geo with that 4 will get out the way, I'm sure, in the small. Round the big blinds, and Faisal with ace 6, and he's not going to play.
Small bit.
So I thought maybe I'll just give a little shout out to Ian Stark, very good friend of ours. Unfortunately, his father passed away this week, so he can't be here. So just to let you know, Ian, if you are watching, if you've taken time out from the family, just let you know we are thinking about you. I did send you a message, but you know, you are missed, and we hope that the family are well. And you know, time is a great healer. You're in our thoughts and prayers as always.
She had already started eating. You went to chat to Mark about the farm. Had nothing to do with the water.
Okay, back to the action. Sipe is dealing hand 192 for the day, 60k in the middle. The blinds are 12, 24, 24 on the big blind ante. Kanesh has got the monster 7-2, and they've gone already. 9-7 for Nick has disappeared also. Rounder Harold with the suited connectors in hearts, 10-9. Suspect he might be interested in playing this hand. Remember, we're 6-handed, so those ranges are going to open up. Suited connectors are certainly a very attractive proposition. Looks like Harold's cracking out 50, 60, 70, somewhere around there. Can't see if they're red or orange. 55.
Faisal with the same hand, but not suited in the small blind.
I suspect he won't be taking him on. We'll see what the big blind's got to offer. Ace Jack, I certainly think we'll have some form of contest here.
Yeah, Levine will flat call this. He's done so all day. Makes the flat call. Two, 3, 6. Ace high of Levine still ahead. Checks. Harold will continue.
I think that might be the end of the hand.
There's not much for Levine to call with there. 2 overs and that's it.
I mean, whatever Harold is repping, it's beating Ace Jack. So, yep, he gets that through.
Harold adds to his big stack there.
So we've got about 30 minutes to go on this level, and we'll take a short break. We'll come back, play one more hour, that will be it for the evening. I suspect we'll still have some play left for the morning. You never know. Might be a super cooler in a minute, and we're down to the money, and there's a deal made. You never know. But the plan is, as announced earlier, to play the remainder of this level, go and have a short break, and then come back, play one more level, and then finish this off tomorrow morning. Okay. Nick is out the way. Ace-2 for Harold. A little bit early in the hijack, he thinks, for that raggedy ace. Gio with the raggedy ace also, but in the cutoff here, so he's going to have a piece of this.
55.
Snap fold to his left by Faisal. Closely followed by Levine. And looks like Ganesh is going to put up some resistance here. Out of the big blind.
Check a bit.
King 4-3.
Nothing for Kanesh there.
Gut shot for Gio. So,
Small bit.
bet fold. Stack a few more chips for young Mr. Zanetti. And we will progress on.
He's played very well on this final table, Gary.
Yeah, very accomplished. He's won a few in his time. So, Harold will be our under the gun player, top center of picture. First to act, the blinds will be to his left as we look at him, in the form of Nick and Ganesh. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow, see Crystal Palace beat Man United down at Sellers Park. Not to be missed, the Man United fans will all be walking around with strange looking faces, which has been the case for most of the season, of course. I do believe Brighton did teach them how to play football the other day, and I understand it that Harry Maguire was playing for Brighton that day. Worth every cent of your £175,000 a week, or whatever obscene amount of money he gets paid for playing like a complete nutcase. Just repeating, I'm just repeating this for a friend, you understand? Of course, the Barcelona Grand Prix tomorrow. We're looking forward to seeing that, and obviously, I mean, I'm a McLaren man, as those people who know me for F1. I'm not a big fan of Daniel Ricciardo, but the youngster, Orlando Loris, we love him. All I care is that as long as Lewis turns up wearing his earrings, we'll be fine. And for those of you who don't know the story, the FIA have said if you don't take a jury out of your face, you can't wear your helmet and you can't drive. It's got nothing to do with the fact that he's failing miserably in the world title and he needs an excuse to bow out. Not that I would ever cast that aspiration, allegedly. Not really a Lewis Hamilton fan. Strange for a Pommy, I know. But I like to see the youngsters coming through. George Russell's driving great for Mercedes, given that the car isn't the best this year. But we're enjoying the season. And how good was that Miami Grand Prix? They pulled out all the stops. I love that Martin Brundle did the pit walk, and he was talking to Patrick Mahomes, who's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And in actual fact, he was talking to some other oak who's a giant who plays for a basketball team. Absolutely hilarious. But hey, only in America.
60,000.
Beautiful.
Faisal raising from the hijack with the Queen 10. As you said, range is opening six-handed as we approach the money. And Queen 10 here, raised to 60. Nick is
busy talking to his fan club there.
We'll get out the way, run to the big blind.
60.
Harold flicks over his cards. He says, I can't call you with that.
Small bit.
So talking about the greatest, the GOATs as we like to call them, the greatest of all time. We've alluded to NFL, of course. Tom Brady was, of course, the best quarterback and still is. But talking about GOATs and talking about poker, the self-proclaimed GOAT, of course, Phil Hellmuth, recently went 9-1, having beat Scott Seaver in the heads-up duel that Tom Dwan was supposed to pitch up for. The word on the street is that Dwan is going to pitch up.
For that last match.
For the next one. So Mr. Hellmuth is pontificating as normal, and there is high level of expectancy that Dwan will pitch up. And of course, for those who don't know, Dwan is the only man to actually beat him in the heads-up challenge so far.
Yeah, and Phil needs one more win to cash out.
Indeed he does. So yeah, if you haven't got Poker Go, go get Poker Go. And I'll tell you for why. Because the World Series is upon us, as we all know, 31st of May through to early July. And it'll be held on the Strip now, of course, at Paris, which will be pretty awesome. And I think there's a record amount of events of, I believe it's 83 this year. I'll confirm that later. And there's something for everybody.
So raised by the 5-4 suited of Ganesh, pocket queens for Nick.
160.
And makes the 3-bet. Round to Geo. The big blind, let's go. Back to Doc.
100.
Once again, players in the turbo, you have about 3 minutes left of re-entry in your 15-minute break.
That would be funny if they had a break in the turbo that was only a minute long because it was a turbo. That would be entertaining, wouldn't it? Those people in the turbo, you've got your 1 minute break. We told you it was a turbo. Oh dear. Ganesh is thinking about this.
Nick gives him that smile.
Oh, he did call.
He did call. Ganesh checks.
All in.
Nick moves all in. That'll end that.
Snap fold. And that's how it ended.
Small bit.
Yeah, so to finish off the World Series chatter, we've spoken to a few people, and I believe that we spoke to Ahmed as well, and he's going for the whole 6 weeks, the whole kit and caboodle, and there's quite a few people going there, and big shout out to Haggai, who has won a package.
Yeah, got his main event seat and some spending.
So he won a package, and he's got, as Mark says, main event and some spending money. So he's going. He was already going, from what I understand, and quite a few others. So there'll be a good representation from the Rainbow Nation. 2 minutes and 34 seconds, counting down, and it says the next break is in 32 minutes.
Did you see not a bad
Don't quite know how that works.
bit of cheddar there? 154k for that 7k freeze.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of money up top.
Yeah, it's a nice payday if you paid 7,000 rand to play it.
Of course, the reason the break's in 32 minutes is because they are 30-minute levels, and they've got one more to go. We're on 20 minutes and 38 seconds. You see the clock there behind Ganesh. Ace-10 Varel, Brooks suited. I like these cards. If you speak to my friend Dave Canning, he'll tell you it's the worst hand in poker.
60,000.
A disgusted fold by Gio. Faisal gets out of the way with the big blind.
And Harold takes that down.
Easy game. Look, very sophisticated CPay with her glasses on. I must tell her that. And I do believe she's had a haircut.
Turbo, complete the hand unit, you go on the 15 players that want to recall or buy in the break, please do so now.
So, oh, there we go. There's young Gareth Khalil.
Brett Holland there.
What's up, mental there? That's the best thing about mental.
Around to John Abrosi and Chandra.
So they're all still fighting there in the 7K. IPL in the background. My team were miserable in the IPL this year.
Henny railing his good friend JP Oates.
The only thing worse than being a Chennai Super Kings fan this year was being a Mumbai Indians fan. And yeah, gonna have a reshuffle. MS Dhoni will retire, become the coach. We'll buy in lots of good talent and we'll win it next year. That's the plan. And yeah, the Gujarati team look like they're gonna romp it. So good luck to those guys. Back to the poker. That's a cool by Nick. By the look of it. It's an interesting limp.
70,000.
Oh, there
Gio's
we go.
not allowing that.
There we go. That's more like it.
70.
A little bit of action. Levine now has got ace jack.
He's down to 215,000, guys.
So I assume he'll flat call this.
Yeah, it was like he's done all day. No, he gets
Oh,
out the
got
way.
got rid of it. So this is an interesting dynamic.
It's limped and raised from the button, and he says, "I'm out of the way," and Nick folds.
Interesting.
Gio just showed the ace.
Nick's concerned where Harold's going. If he's heading that way, he might be going to the restroom. I think the button's on Harold, so he's got a bit of time.
Back button round on Faisal, who's also absent from the table. So 4 players seated.
I was thinking to, I'll send you to eat with Mark. You'll eat all your food. What's up, Marky?
So Nick here under the gun.
Check or raise. Big blind check. Check a bit. Check a bit.
So in this blind on blind action, yeah, the 9-3 still ahead. Ganesh now bets it and will take the hand down.
Small big.
Blinds are posted. The under the gun player Harold is not at the table. There's the outer table. Theo's still fighting in there with JP Oates. Vigandas.
We've got a couple of players missing in action. So the rule is simple. The second card gets to the dealer button. The remainder are dead.
Gio taking advantage of all the players that are absent from the hijack with the Queen Deuce. Levine folds round to Ganesh. Okay, Gio will find some opposition here. All in from Ganesh.
Max pressure.
Gio folds, sends the money across. He was trying to steal, short-handed there, trying to take advantage of the situation. Ganesh woke up with the ace-queen suited, was having none of it. Just jammed all in over the top.
And Levine needs to take some pretty aggressive action here. 7 bigs, definitely in the danger zone.
How to do that? I'm telling you, Etiquette 7 or Etiquette 5.
So Harold's not at the table. His big blind and ante have been posted.
Rather jam it in, we see 5 cards.
When you're at pocket 5, line ice cream.
Is it?
And we're seeing Jason leaving on the stream. If he's home by now, he can see himself leaving. That'd be bizarre, wouldn't it?
Last card. It's not last card. It's now last card to the dealer button. It's no longer first card. Okay. The rules change every day.
Change the rules. We change that.
You know what they say, if I get there first, I'll put a brick on the wall. If you get there first, take it off for me. And if you're not confused now, you never will be.
So folded around to Ganesh.
Ganesh has got the suited queen here. Remember, we got a couple of absentees from the table. So, time to hoover up a few of those blinds.
Yeah, he wants to steal it from the button, yeah. Harold was absent when the hand was dealt. So I think he only has to get through the small blind of Nick.
And Big Dave in the background being illuminated. I bet that's the first for him.
And Nick knows what Ganesh is up to. He calls with the ace deuce. Harold's out of the way.
No hearts. Ace ahead.
Nick checks. Ganesh checks back.
No help for either player. 92% equity. Ace high here.
Yeah, Nick now bets because the flop was checked. He reckons the line doesn't help Ganesh.
Au revoir, mon ami. Yep, au revoir, bon nuit, Gali Nikta. I am out of here. Nick giving the little chuckle there. Time for bed. I think Nicky's looking a bit tired there.
Coming up to a break. It's on the outer table. The 7K freeze.
So Mr. Brooks has returned with a drink in hand, a small libation. And hand of 202 for the day. How about that? We are absolutely motoring here. Faisal, it's up to you. You're under the gun, sir. 9-3 of diamonds will be going back to the dealer. Round Levine, who needs to make a move, and he's got the nut low there, so he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, not for that.
And Ganesh with the 8-6. Nikki, any time today, China? Hello. There you go.
Chatting behind. Queen 8 on the button.
24,000.
Oh, you keep the small pot. I wasn't going to raise it. I was going to. I'm not going to.
Did he just smooth call?
Yeah, he did from the
Such a
button.
limper.
There's Moon in the background.
The Pakistani ambassador-elect, Mr. Moon Khan.
Harold comes in as well. Gio checks his big blind.
And we have a three-way put. Seven, 3, 7. And I think Harold's king is still out in front here.
Yeah, but Gio's going to bet his gut shot, and he's got the big blind cards on that flop, sort of repping it straight away, can bet into it in a limp pot. Nothing there for Nick. Harold has 2 overs, gets rid of them, and Gio will take that down.
Interesting. 48,000 to the good. Small pot for this time of night.
Again, he saves his own big blind ante.
A nice cost-saving initiative. So Levine is going to be under the gun here. He's got 191,000 behind, which is not a lot of blinds. Less than 10.
Yeah, way less than 10. And big blind approaching.
So we need some action from you, sir. And he's been patient looking for a spot, for sure. Oh, there's the new carpet tiles. Thanks for that.
Ace deuce under the gun.
Any ace is a good ace.
Nope.
Oh my word.
Hold it around to Nick. King 10. And the cutoff.
48,000.
So he min clicks this. Jack 7 for Harold. Harold's in the dealer position, so no obligation here, no chips in the field. So round to Gio, and looks like gives that up. And Faisal's just going to get a little bit sticky with his big blind here. 2-way to the flop. All small cards, 2, 2, 6, and King High is in shape.
Levine thinks, oh goodness, if I jammed that ace deuce, look at that flop.
Well, like I said, any ace was a good ace with this and those blinds he's got. The question is, would he have got called? Possibly by Nick.
Nick continues, takes down the hand. So now Levine has to post a big blind ante and the big blind. And he's got around 7 bigs, so that's going to cut deep into him.
We have a problem.
Ganesh folds ace 9 under the gun. Nick folds. Round to Harold, king 3. Gio in the button. Queen 8. They're all looking at that short stack big blind. That's why he gets rid of that. Faisal ace 6. He may put Mr. Levine all in to call. Well, he just raises it. And Levine nothing to call. Says, look at that, I got nothing there. So Nick will be under the gun. Got 5 minutes left for that short break.
Here is the blood in the 3K turbo, your blinds are 600, 1200, 1280. We shut up the bill.
Put him in the dustbin.
Harold in the hijack with the ace.
Put him.
Folds it round to Geo.
24.
Basil on the button. Ace 4. Raise to 60. Levine is folded. Kinesh folds.
Nothing but garbage.
Small bit.
Five bigs, not good. Harold top of the tree, just below is Gio. And top four all millionaires at the moment. But that can change so quickly. Just takes one cooler of a hand or one big suck out. And 206 of the day, 12, 24, 24 on the big blind ante. And Mr. Brooks, top of picture, will be your first player to act. Harold marking out his isosceles triangle with his chips. Becoming very Henny Apple-esque.
24,000.
Everybody's folding. Queen Jack, they'll be worth a little look at in the cutoff, I think.
He's been raising standard to 60. That's just a limp.
24.
Yeah, he limps it in. Levine on the button. Gets rid of that. Dock in the small blind. I'll come along for a flop. Yeah, so all got queens.
Nick with a computer hand. Checks it back. 10, 10, 9. So up and down straight draw for Faisal.
And he had the best queen to start off with.
Faisal about 18,000, did she say?
Yeah, so now she said corrected it. It's the minimum is 24.
I was going to say.
Nick and Doc folded quite quickly there to the min bet. Nothing to fight with. Gio will be under the gun. And Levine looking for a spot to put those last few chips across the line.
Yep, it's criminal to be blinded out. You've got to be playing for those last chips.
There's 1 minute left to the break. So this might be his last look before he comes back to increased blinds, which will...
I was going to say, it's not going to help him having a break, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to put him further down. Have less fold equity to the bigger blinds.
I actually think his fold equity disappeared about half an hour ago.
Yeah, you're right, I think it is non-existent.
Well, Faisal with the same Jack Queen again.
Limped in last time.
He's in the hijack.
Gets rid of it this time.
Here we go, matey. Get it in. You're in the cutoff, just got to get through those last three. See if you can pick up a rotation.
Exactly what he's looking at, but doesn't pull the trigger. Fortunately for him. King, queen behind.
We will only know if we see a flop.
Doc will raise this.
70,000.
Nick, quick all in.
Nothing wrong with that. Aces and kings may only apply. Tick-tock.
Shows the king queen. Does the customary show one? There's the ace. Shows him ace queen suited.
And we shall go for a little a break, and then we will come back for one more level, and by which time we will either have turned into pumpkins or the carriage will be full of beautiful women. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
Please come. Please come. piece of a paper and a pen.
And welcome back to beautiful Sun City, day 2 of the Super High Roller. We are down to 6 players paying 1 million rand for first, 500,000 for second, 300,000 for third, 200,000 for fourth. So we're 2 away from the money. This is the last level for this evening. And then we will come back tomorrow if we do not conclude tonight in this last level, which is highly unlikely how deep the players are. And Levine Singh looking for a spot here. Very short. Blinds have gone up.
That was the hand before, Kinzo. That was the hand before. We spoke you into folding.
The blinds are 15,000, 30,000, 30,000 and
So blinds of 15,000, 30,000 with a big blind ante of 30, 75k in the middle, which puts Levine on 2 rotations with the stack that he has. He has 2 free looks before he's in the big blind. Faisal under the gun, ace 10 suited. And he raises to 70,000. Levine with ace 7 suited has moved all in. So we have an all in. Ganesh folds, Geo folds, and Faisal makes the call. And he does have Levine totally dominated here. So Levine looking for clubs or a 7.
So we're off and running, Mark. There's a 10 in the window, there's the ace. So ace is irrelevant, but the 10 is obviously relevant. And I think that might be the end of that, drawing dead.
That was all she wrote. So
And Levine is eliminated. The irony, I just spoke to him in the corridor and he said he had to get it in. But we knew that already. Nicely played, sir. Enjoyed your company today.
he ground his way for long and hard. So we're on the bubble, Gary.
We are indeed.
On the money bubble, and 4 players over 1 million there. So the short stack at the table is now Kinesh. So Doc is under the gun.
What's the time? You can't even remember that. When you need to get my name just now.
Okay, over to Kinesh. 30,000 to call. Blinds have gone up on the break, of course. 15, 30. 30 in the big blind ante. So 75k in dead money on the table from the outset. So it looks like Nick has just called here.
Yeah, he's lumped in quite a few times today.
Gio says, I'll play that game. Faisal with the big blind, Jack 2, he'll probably just knuckle this and we'll see a flop.
Share the story with us.
And indeed he does. We'll go to the flop.
This is like this, brother. You can't take it under 1 and 2.
So ace 3, 5. Not much going on there.
Gut
shot for Nick.
And a gut shot for Faisal. does find that 4, Nicky will have the higher straight. Makes the call. Gio gets out the way. We go to the turn.
So Faisal's jack high is still ahead here. Faisal checks the queen. Nick has a story to tell. He checks it back. River brings a 4.
Oh, that's the danger card because now Faisal's got a straight.
And of course Nick has the bigger straight.
He has the nut straight there. 6-7.
He's just checking.
Yeah, he did not really have it.
Haven't really got the joint here.
He's reaching deep. Faisal bet 110.
Well, he's got a bet 220, I suppose.
He's going heavier than that.
It looks a bit more. Back across the Faisal. That'll make him squirm in his chair a little bit. Can he really have 6-7? Are we chopping? Has he got a set? Has he got a dodgy 2 pair? All of the above. It's going to cost you 140. Nick will turn over the nut straight, and that will be that, and Faisal will not be a happy bunny.
Shows the 2.
A little bit of a cooler there, unfortunate, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And Nick goes up to 1.7 million.
Yeah, plus 400k there.
Nicely done.
Donovan Harris. I've been watching almost 12 hours straight, and I haven't seen Caitlin once.
What a shame. I've seen her lots of times. We've chatted on numerous occasions. Actually gave her a couple of hugs as well. I'm assuming Donovan's jealous by now.
But if he wasn't, he certainly is now.
And I saw her mum, and I saw baby. And did I mention I also saw Caitlin as well. The lovely Caitlin is definitely around and doing what she does best, looking after us all. Does a great job.
Nick under the gun, 5-handed, king 10.
And manages to be a full-time mum as well. And if you ask her, she'll say a mother to 2. And if you've met Blake, her husband, you'll know what she's talking about. Who's also a super, super chap.
So Nick looks like he's limped in here with the king 10. Harold is folded. There's a raise coming further down the field. We follow around. The raises come from Gio. So the raise, they're saying Nick raised to 75. Okay.
As I passed Ganesh in the corridor, he said, "Have you seen how card dead I've been?" I just smiled and carried on walking because he was with Levine. But to be fair to him, he has not had a lot of cards. So let's have a look at the flop.
Check. 50.
Nick making a play at Geo.
Students of Leslie Trevor, you're the ones who are up. 1,000, 2,000, 2,090. 1, 2, 2, and the Trevor.
And Geo playing straight back at him. Shows him the bluff.
Beautiful. Love your work.
A little chirp from Geo as well. Don't try that with me. Oh, goodness.
I don't even know what I hit. Yes, she's got a corner over the head.
Very strong play by Geo again. It was limped in with by Nick. Raised the button by Geo. Check raised the flop by Nick. After Geo continued, and Geo just went back over the top of him. And then showed him the bluff and the chip.
Good work.
Doesn't matter, I'm allowed to. We fucking check. That's what he wants.
Harold under the gun.
Students of Leslie Trevor, the blinds are 15,000, 30,000, 30,000, and you shuffle up the
They're
deal.
kind of cool. I know what I have.
Look at 30 minutes back.
Upside down. This guy calling me. Right, king 10.
Geo becoming very active now. Changed gears. So Doc will be coming under increasing pressure.
$75K in the middle, every hand. Nick's giving himself a little bit of a slap there.
Giving himself the old Rocky wake up.
In the words of
Treatment.
the prophet, slap yourself, you're hysterical.
My old guys when I was a chola, there's no problem for me.
Basil folds around to Ganesh on the button. Ace-6.
They'll look wonderful given the run of cards he's been having.
And he moves all in. Any ace now from the button with the short stack. Nick quickly out the way. Harold can't defend the big blind. Taps the table. And Doc will get that one through. Plus 75K. Very welcome to his stack.
Indeed.
Faisal under the gun. Folds it round to Doc. Lets that go quickly. Round to Nick in the button. Ace-5. Raises.
60,000.
Harold folds. Geo defends the min click. So a pair for each of them. Top pair for Gio, Queen 6. Hits the 6. Checks. Nick continues with the middle pair. Nick has bet fairly heavily here. 250k, and
Yeah,
Gio
get
gives
rid
it
of
up.
Gio. There's a little tit for tat going on between Nick and Gio here.
There, very much so.
And somebody's going to come unstuck very soon.
I think 4 and I got you. Just now you put it all in, I'll get all the chips.
My point. Just now you'll put it all in and I'll get all the chips.
Also show you footage of Chris Gall hitting it out the ball.
Don't worry about
So
that.
has been.
Don't worry about that. This is like Ukraine challenging Russia. Anyway, can win, everyone else must give him cards on the table. I'm a has-been here as has never been. Am I right? What's worse, a has-been or a has never been?
So far away from there. Harold used to
Forward
be
Harold's in the middle.
Yeah, he's getting stuck between these two.
nothing. No, Poland is far from full.
Doesn't want to get involved between Russia and Ukraine, but he's still there.
He limps in the 6s. Gio flats. Faisal in the big blind.
And he'll knuckle that back and we'll go 3 ways to the flop. 7-3-4. The pocket 6 is still ahead here.
And the gut shot to go with the 6s. Nothing for Gio. Bottom pair for Faisal. Shows the 3. Nick shows him 6s.
We only speak now. What did you say? What's me right?
Guys, we're on the small blind. 15,000.
So Nick will be under the gun. Nice little banter going on between him and Gio.
That's why I'm just letting them talk. Let them entertain us for a change.
Gio was bemused by the chirp, the has been versus the never been from Nick.
So you're waiting for that. You only want the gun for 3,000.
65,000.
So Nick raised to 65,000. Folded round to Kanesh. He can't defend with that.
And the bad runner cards continues.
Shows the 10 deuce. Nicky will show him the ace.
Stop showing you guys cards. Oh, yeah, it's not serious. Don't steal. As soon as I play my thing, I'll start running at the end. Once you need to take the whip.
I think that might have been his horse impression. Not quite sure.
No, the whip comes out, brother. Who's going to go?
So Harold will be under the gun. He's quietly going about his business here. Sitting with a very nice stack there. As has Faisal. Faisal's also quietly gone about his work. When he has played, he's played aggressively and decisively.
So the one gapper suited for Geo 9-7.
Raises, and it is of course Nick's big blind. Yes, Doc's run of cards continues. And Nick folds.
And 217 of the day. Mr. Zanetti, top right of your picture, will be our under the gun player. Harold and Nick in the blinds. Faisal under the gun +1. Or you've got, this is another, you can give him the cut off, you can
You give him
whatever you want.
Yeah.
All the positions.
number of titles there.
Yeah, indeed. See how gets rid of those. King 9, a monster.
Keeps the discipline going. He's got short to stack to his left.
Nish has probably just picked up the best hand he's had in a couple of hours. And he's going to bet it.
Makes it 70k.
Harold might fancy this.
40k to call into the 145.
Nope.
Decides against it. And that will, whenever you win the pot, whether you show him the cards, whether you don't, taps the table. It's always very sporting. Well, there it is, on the bubble for that prize money.
And that's how long we got left in the day. So we said just after midnight, time we finish up.
Faisal under the gun. Counting out raising chips.
80,000 to go.
Folds it quickly round to the big blind of Geo. He'll like to defend with that. No, gives it up quickly to Faisal. Showing Faisal some respect, and he's played those all day long, and this time he elects to fold.
Maybe it's the bubble and the ICM considerations. Who knows? So I just had a question from the floor. What's ICM? ICM stands for individual chip model, and basically you work out the value of every individual chip versus how much money is available, and that gives you what you're entitled to in prize money should you chop it at this moment in time. It also refers to the fact that you've got an eye on the money. It's a colloquialism, poker, in terms of we've got an eye on the money, we're in the bubble, it's an ICM consideration. Okay, ace-5 for Ganesh. They must look wonderful after his run of cards. Shame. He's not at the best run of cards today. Ace-Jack, oh, here we go, action stations. I'll tell you what would be really funny if Gio wakes up with a monster as well.
Yeah.
Look at his eyes, look at him looking over there. Look what's going on
He's
there.
already looking, what can I squeeze here? Raise and a flat.
Nothing he's squeezing there with that 7-5, that's for sure. He's going to leave that fight to Ganesh and to Nick. Basil will get out of the way. He's not going to risk any more. So Kanesh is raised to 70,000 in the call. Or the other way around to say. All the clubs out there now, look.
Gut shot for Kanesh. But those clubs are going to scare him as well. Nick won't be that happy with all those clubs. Oh, he's got the ace of clubs.
I was going to say, he's going to be very happy with those clubs.
Missed that one there. The ace of clubs. I was just looking at the heart, then woke up and realized the ace of clubs is there.
And Nick is in a very strong position here. He's got the best hand.
Oh, he just shoves it in.
And a draw.
Just shoves it in.
Yep, and Kanesh will just take a couple of minutes, but he'll be folding here.
He gets rid of it. Nick shows him just the ace of clubs.
And that will be sufficient. So Kanesh down to 13 big blinds here. One-time chip leader. It's just not had any cards today. So on the left of the picture where Warwick is sitting, that is your 3K turbo. And on the right of the picture, that is your 7K freeze.
The 3K turbo has rocketed along. It looks like going down to 2 tables already. Warwick stacking chips.
Okay, Nick to act here under the gun, Jack 10.
On those VPI stats earlier, Nick was the most active player. And it's because he's limped in a lot of hands. Kanesh checks.
King 8 ace. So we have a gutty there. Couple of hearts on board, only one heart out in play.
Check, check on that flop.
And there you go, Kanesh is going to win a hand if he doesn't fold.
Queen Eye takes it. So Harold will be under the gun. Just over half an hour left for the evening's play, Gary.
Yep, I'm ready for my bid, trust me.
And then we return at 11 AM if I'm not mistaken.
We'll be here a bit earlier than 11, but yes.
For the viewers. Half an hour delay after that.
Yep. Here we go. Nice hand for Harold here, King 10 suited.
Raises. Folded round. And Nick gives it up.
So Max has come to say how's it. Had a little bit of a debrief with him during the break. Talked me through the hand. I wasn't actually commentating at the time, but story checked that.
You're 1.6, right?
Gio raises his ace queen under the gun.
We go around to Kanesh. It's folded. Round to Nick.
Nick is called. So 2 players to the flop. So Gio having raised to and been called by Nick. Nick has flopped the best of that. Let's go and check. Your option is now on Gio. He checked as well. King of spades. Bet and call. A lot of outs up at the top there for Gio. That's not one of them. Nick now checks. Gio checks behind. The 8 is going to be a winner. And Nick giving him a little chirp after the hand. Just wry smile from Gio. Gary, the clairvoyant, has predicted there is going to come a moment between the two.
Oh, for sure. There will be a clashing of heads there for sure. It's all good entertainment, makes for good TV, so we're happy with that. It's all in good fun. So we're on the stone cold bubble here. The next player out goes away with nada, nothing, Diboudet, as they say in Greek.
A 200,000 rand bubble, Gary.
Not bad, eh? Wouldn't mind a tax on that.
Folded round to Nick on the button. And get rid of the queen 6. Leaves it up to the 2 blinds.
Harold might give him a walk here.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I thought so. He's got absolute garbage.
Yeah, happy to get the walk. Out to the outer tables. I think
Place is empty.
they're balancing on the 3K turbo, maybe to final table, I think.
The 3K turbo are on their turbo break, so they'll be back in 30 seconds.
And I think they're down to final table because they were.
Yeah, Warwick seemed to be flying quite high there.
Turbo will suit his aggressive game. Harold with ace queen on the button. Pocket 6s for Faisal.
Well, I can't see him folding this.
Yeah.
Mind you, the original raise was to 90,000 by Harold. Nick called.
Yeah, he limped in first. That's
Oh,
what
that's right, he
Faisal
limped in, yeah. So he has put another 60 in.
Harold picks up that nice pot there, 105k plus.
We'll take it, he says.
So Doc in the big blind.
.24 minutes to run. 5 players left in. 5 players, 4 prizes equals the bubble. The dreaded walk of shame with no money in your pocket. It's actually possible that the bubble might not burst this evening.
Yeah, it's highly possible with the short amount of time we've got left.
It is possible. We shall see. With that, this hand will probably be the bubble hand.
Commentator's curse, guys.
Indeed.
The Nick is raised with the suited king. Faisal folds. Round to Ganesh. The min raise. So Doc wants to see the flop.
Ace Queen at 3, rainbow.
Nothing there for Doc. Nick will continue, and that'll be a quick fold.
The speculation did not pay off.
There's that final table of that 3K turbo.
I have no idea what the prize pool in that is. I just imagine a few $100.
No, there was a queen on the board now, right?
No discount for old people, Nick. Put your money in.
Harold folds the reg ace under the gun. Gio out the way. Faisal. So it's blind on blind. Round to Doc. Ganesh limps in with a suited 6-2.
About 7 hours ago, 6-2 was winning. Faisal called speculatively with 6-2. Ends up flopping 2 pair and navigating around some premium hands. 4 Jack-Jack. So the 4 for Nick is the big hit at the moment. Heart on the turn? No. No sweat. Only a 6 and a 6 only.
This time I sure. Twice.
that blind-on-blind battle, betting the turn.
And 227, Geo under the gun. A reminder of the blinds, 15,000, 30,000, 30,000 the big blind ante. Big shout out to Sunbet, our main sponsor, and of course to Sun International and the hospitality they've extended to us here at the Sun City Resort in the Northwest Province, the beautiful Northwest Province of the Rainbow Nation here in South Africa. As we near the end of day 2 of this 75k super high roller, we're on the Stone Cold bubble. Ganesh is going to have a pair of 7s here, which will look golden to him, I'm sure. He's going to go all in. Nick would like to see a flop with these, but he certainly won't be calling Ganesh's all in. I can't see it, not with the 300k. If you don't call Nick, you'll have to sing for your supper.
And Harold's not calling with that.
There we go. He asked the question, nobody can answer it. And Ganesh will pick up 75k for his trouble. Another rotation. Chipping away, 12 bigs.
Nick
He's
over,
the only non-millionaire.
Nick over 2 million for the first time.
He is. I still like Harold for the win.
Yeah, he was one of the 3 you picked.
I told him on the break, I said, you're one of my horses. He said, you always pick me. I said, listen, let's hope you can win for a change then. I said, I only pick you because you're old. I said, but the old people must stick together. No, I think Harold is due a big win.
He's played very well. Good solid poker. There's Brett Holland in the background cashing out from the 7k, so he's out, but getting a payday, collecting the pay slip there.
Good for him. So King Jack here versus Ace Queen versus Pocket Eights. Could be a feisty one. And the King 10 of Geo suited.
Geo's having none of that.
Top man.
Faisal with the King Jack, I think, gets out the way.
3 bets at just over 250,000 chips. Love your work.
Nick flattered with the Ace Queen. Is this the hand where they get this big clash?
There's lots of potential. Big decision, this. Harold deep in the tank here.
Good strong play by Geo again. He's done this a number of times today. Putting the squeeze on. So there we're down to final table in that 7k freeze.
Oh, for sure. There they are.
There's your good friend JP Oaks. Vigandas is there. Theo Hunter at the back of him, Gareth Khalil, John Abrosi. Try and make out the other players as well there. Somebody well hidden there in the front, in the hoodie. Cannot see it all.
So Kinesh will be under the gun here. 8-2 suited, no less. He's getting the sympathy from the rail.
Yeah.
Good old ace-10 suited.
Just limped in from the cutoff. Geo King Jack suited. He just limps as well.
Interesting tactic. Faisal checks it back with his hearts.
Clubs, hearts and spades out there.
So doesn't look like much play. Ace-10 looks like it's ahead. In fact, it is ahead.
And the ace high being ahead. He's going to bet it. Joe's out the way. And Faisal will have nothing to fight with.
And the rich get richer. I just explained ICM, so I'm figuring that the comment in the has been explained.
Yeah, they are on half an hour behind, so he will pick up your explanation.
The truth is, we just sit here and make up acronyms or TLAs. You know what a TLA is? A three-letter abbreviation. The old ones are the best. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but Crystal Palace are beating Man United tomorrow at Sellers Park. For those of you who missed the news.
Oh, to be that they don't do it and Crystal Palace get a hiding.
No, they won't. They won't get a hiding. They're at home. Best fans in London.
It has not been a fun time being a United supporter the last few years.
You know, you can only be full of admiration for the Ferguson years. And people say it's not just about the manager. Well, I'm afraid it was there. Alex Ferguson was once interviewed about a book that he'd written about his life, or ghost-written. And they said, what did you miss out of it? He said, the day I turned up at Man United. And he says, what do you mean by that? He said, well, it wasn't really for publication. He said, well, you know, tell us what you mean. He says, I walked into the change room, I broke up the poker room, and I sent them all to the barbers. The interviewer said, you're joking. He said, ask Brian Robson if he plays poker in my change room anymore. Ask Gary Pallister if he plays poker in my change room anymore. And all those little Herberts with their little haircuts, etc., they can have long hair and they can have streaks in their hair when they start scoring goals. So he sent them all for a haircut as well. There wasn't much he could do for Steve Bruce. He was already ugly and had short hair and couldn't play poker. So, yeah, true story. The good news is that they had a poker game in the changing room, I suppose. And then they went on those that ride of a lifetime. That's just unbelievable. I mean, I've got to say, I enjoyed that 1999 European Cup final when they were down 1-0 to Bayern Munich, and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Harry Sheringham came on and did the business. That was just a thing of dreams. And just as a soccer supporter, you could only sit back and marvel.
I believe there was a misdeal there.
First one of the day. So Brad is coaching the dealer on the radio, telling him it's only 10 minutes. Good lad. I think everybody's a little bit tired, fatigued, a little weary.
So they will shortly be dealing or pulling cards for the last 3 hands, should they?
Quite possibly.
Normally with around 10 minutes to go, they do that.
Well, to be honest, they should have done it already.
There comes Big Davy Ralph in the background.
Mr. Rosenthal lurking in the shadows. Inch-eye private eye, as I call him. Ahmed Karim and Muaz Ghani. An unlikely trio.
Ganesh limps in. Small blind. Nick checks the big blind.
9-4 suited against Jack 3. So there's a 4 for you. Ganesh dominating this after the flop. Backdoor club still in play.
Check, check.
The 2's a brick.
Brings a straight draw for Nick. Or gutter.
The old gut shot.
Min bet from Doc and called. And there it is.
See, there you go. Flush comes in, gut shot comes in. It's all there. And you know, that just kind of sums up Ganesh's day, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, nickel fire here. He can rep it, but Ganesh can't call with a 4. Nada, not going to happen. As frustrated as you are, he's too good a player. Your fault. Mike's walking around with a light. That's a light for normal-sized people. He just happens to be abnormal. Did you see Mike walking around with that light there?
It did, in the background.
I think he's taking it home to grow his marijuana or something. All joking aside, he's setting up for some interviews, I'm sure. Mike Collett, ladies and gentlemen, put a lot of effort in with his team of cameramen here today and yesterday, and certainly have improved a lot of the shots we've got, so shout out to Mike and his team. 7 minutes, 8 seconds to go. Blinds 15-30, 30 on a big blind ante. 4 places get paid, 5 players left in. We're on the stone cold bubble, and the average stack is 1.32 millions, gazillions even. Gambling is for the over 18s. Winners know when to stop.
Action on Geo.
Raise 65,000.
Queen folds round to Harold in the big blind.
I'm going to say that went round very quickly. Walk on by.
Nick, sell me your 1,000 chips. No. They're going to take them off now. All I'm doing is saving you time to go to bed. That's the truth. They're going to take them off the table.
I like just having chips in front of me.
Good lots.
So Geo helping out in advance, buying up the 1,000s.
Feel poorer now. Yeah. There's beach in the village. They all have 10 1 rand coins and 2 10 rand notes.
Sorry, kids.
Faisal with
Aces.
pocket rockets.
Raise to 75. 75,000 to call.
He says, read a book. I heard from my friend that he read a book. And the book says you will bet on the dealer button. Wait for this round and then you decide if you want to buy the book.
So Nick looks like he's called this with 9-3 off.
Yeah, on the button. Say the book says I must play the button.
Yeah.
Gio comes along, price down in the big blind.
And Faze will be licking his lips here.
Second pair for Gio. Faisal continues. Nick wanted to become creative here, and he's picked the wrong spot here.
I don't know if we've misread one of his cards here, because this is
Possible,
madness.
because I can't see this 9-3 playing like this.
I just don't know. If he's showing his cards to another player at the table, they're already dead. Dave stood right behind him, so he will make those decisions.
Just
Pocket
pocket
nines.
nines. It was
Yeah.
a misread.
It had to be.
It makes a lot more sense. That made a lot more sense. Pocket nines. And good fold there by Nick. So that was a big gain for Faisal there. The repop to 250 by Nick.
Ganesh is going to shove it all in here.
Nick out the way.
I see our clock has disappeared, so there'll be no drawing of hands, and we'll just finish it here and now, I think.
Queen Jack for Gio. Gets rid of it.
Pocket sevens for Faisal.
He calls.
And Ganesh has obviously got one of the sevens.
So he's drawing to 3 aces. So yeah, on the bubble. On virtually the last hand of the evening.
I would imagine it will be the last hand, to be honest, but we'll see. Oh, set of sevens straight off the
Set
bat.
of 7 straight away. Running.
A diamond on the turn for a sweat or an ace.
Oh, that's it. That is all she wrote.
And the bubble doth burst.
Wow. Virtually the is the last hand of the evening. You can see the timing clock in the background.
All the players now guaranteed 200,000 rand, and we will check that this is the last hand. I believe it is, if we can get a shot of the dealer and the table.
And Kanesh is the bubble
there
boy.
we go. There we go. They're still stacking chips, and I do believe that is a wrap, as they say. So just a big shout out and thank you to all the tech team and the commentary team here in the back. And I do believe start of play tomorrow will be 11 AM, so we'll see you around about 11:30 once the 30-minute delay runs out. So good night from all of us here in the back, and we'll see you tomorrow.